Hello, I am excited to be here with you today for maintenance check-in week 3. So this week I averaged approximately 1950 calories. I would round it up almost to a solid 2000 even, because I had one day where I did have a few out of the ordinary foods and the tracking may not have been as great, but for the most part I would say an average of 2000. And my weight today was 159.4, which was 0.2 higher than last week. And that's what my trend is also showing. It shows a 0.2 higher. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on that, because what we wanna do is realize that fat gain, true fat weight gain, is a slow process. It's not fast. So when you step on the scale one day and you're up 3 to 4 pounds, the answer is no, you didn't gain 3 to 4 pounds. Like, yes, your water fluctuation can happen 2 to 6 pounds, but if you're noticing week after week after week that your weight is creeping up 0.5, 0.2, 0.3, I mean, if you're binging consecutively, yes, it can be a more substantial gain. But I'm talking about somebody who's actually tracking their food, attempting to hit maintenance calories, not quote unquote binging or overeating. If you're in that category and you notice every single week your weight average is just creeping up a little bit, then you may have overshot your maintenance calories. So you just want to keep an eye on that. It doesn't mean you have to do drastic course correction right away. It means give it a few weeks and see what happens. But I wanted to share with you, I've been using Happy Scale since 2015. And in the Half Size Meat community, I posted every April of my weigh-ins with the average. And what I loved seeing is maintenance over time. And here's something that's so important. I have never met a human being, not a single human being, who weighs themselves, journals their food, and goes, oh my God, Heather, I gained 50 pounds. I don't know where this came from. That never, ever happens. What does happen is somebody says, oh my gosh, my weight's creeping up. I'm embarrassed. I overate. This isn't something I know how to track. So I'm just going to stop. I'm going to stop tracking my food. I'm going to stop weighing myself. And then ipso facto, 6 months goes by and you're up 25, 30 pounds. That happens all the time. So if I were to tell you what are the 2 biggest secrets to weight maintenance long term, it's self-accountability and refusing to stop the process because you pass judgment on your behaviors, because you pass judgment on how much you weigh. You pass judgment on the quality or the quantity of the food. You say, Heather's mentioned before several times that nobody gains a tremendous amount of weight when they are consistent with journaling their food in some way and staying on top of weighing themselves on a regular basis. That just doesn't happen. So if I've lost 50 or 100 or whatever amount of pounds and I really want to keep it off, wouldn't it make sense that those would be 2 key foundational behaviors that I want to do regardless of how I feel about my performance, my weight, my food choices? Yes. And the hardest part of maintenance is the mental piece that's required to do that. My eating is not 100% stellar 100% of the time. Just this week I overate, okay? I ate more than what I would have intended. And I ate things that were fun foods, right? So you're gonna have those days, but you know what? I journaled it anyway. I've learned to let go of judgment, of being critical, because those things don't serve me. So in this journey, yes, you have to learn the foundations. You have to learn what to eat, what not to eat for yourself, what kind of fitness works for you. But really, it's your mind. If you don't hone in on your thinking and you allow your mind to run rampant and you assume everything you think is actually logical and it's well thought out, right? And you just go with what you hear your brain tell you, you're probably gonna self-sabotage. There needs to be these discussions like what you and I are having where we say, does that make sense? Do you think that because you ate a couple extra whatever, fill in the blank, and you feel shameful about it, it makes sense to stop journaling And it makes sense not to get on the scale tomorrow when you know for a fact those are two behaviors that if you do, you will more than likely, I'm not saying you'll never see weight gain, but you're not going to see the kind of weight gain that most of us have experienced where the clothes in our closet don't fit anymore. Or we, feel embarrassed to go to Thanksgiving because we don't want everyone to see us having regained all the weight we lost, right? Like, we're not talking that kind of weight gain. We're talking, I've been up 5 or so pounds, but never put back on 170. So this is why I want to encourage you, think this through. Really say to yourself, my mind is my most powerful tool, and I need to harness this to help me. And what are some good keystone behaviors for a maintainer and making sure that I don't go gaining a bunch of weight back that I've already lost? Continue to weigh yourself, continue to journal your food. Don't allow judgment to interfere with that practice. That's going to be your biggest Mount Everest to climb, is keeping your thoughts in check so you can do the actions required. I hope this helps you. I'm going on to another week of maintenance and probably going to hold calories right about here and see how I do this week if the weight holds steady. But I also just wanted to mention that since I've been tracking my weight now for, I think I've got 5 years worth of April weigh-ins, when you're talking long-term weight maintenance, there will be fluctuations from year to year, day to day, month to month. So you should expect that and give yourself an appropriate window to help you do that. So for me, mine's between 150 and 160. I like my average to fall somewhere in there. I don't beat myself up as long as I'm following in that bracket. That's where I like to stay. But you have to create a window that works for you. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.